Selamat siang, eh, selamat datang kami ucapkan kepada Bapak Ibu sekalian yang sudah menyempatkan waktunya. Selamat datang kembali di edisi webinar dari ManageEngine. Pada hari ini kita akan berdiskusi atau lebih tepatnya akan mendengarkan paparan mengenai dua solusi yang akan kita integrasikan atau yang biasa diintegrasikan dalam ManageEngine, yaitu Helpdesk ITSM Ticketing dari ManageEngine ServiceDesk Plus dan juga sistem monitoring atau monitoring tools dari ManageEngine ITOM OpManager. Perkenalkan, nama saya Roni Simatupang, saya ada dari divisi sales di Prodata Sistem Teknologi. Baik, sebelum kita memulai sesi webinar kita yang akan dibawakan oleh Prinsipal ManageEngine dengan Mr. Srikan, izinkan saya kasih 5-7 menit untuk memberikan informasi-informasi yang berhubungan dengan ManageEngine dan juga Prodata. Baik, jadi ManageEngine sendiri bagian dari Johor Corporation, dulu dikenal dengan nama Advanet, sekarang namanya Johor Corporation. Untuk kantor pusatnya itu ada di Delaware, Texas, dan untuk kantor-kantornya itu ada di seluruh secara worldwide ya, ada di North America, Europe, dan juga Asia. Nah, untuk ManageEngine sendiri, kami memiliki 120 lebih produk yang bisa digunakan atau dimanfaatkan untuk membantu Bapak Ibu dalam memanage IT-nya tentunya. Kemudian solusi-solusi ManageEngine juga sudah mendapatkan award winning dari berbagai macam award dan sudah dipakai di 190 negara di seluruh dunia. Ada 190 negara yang pakai di seluruh dunia. Ini beberapa company yang sudah menggunakan ManageEngine hingga saat ini. Ada 180.000 klien seluruh dunia sudah menggunakan. Di Indonesia sendiri, ManageEngine sudah masuk ke Indonesia sejak tahun 2005 dan juga sudah bekerja sama dari dulu dengan Prodata, sehingga Prodata ditunjuk sebagai on behalf ManageEngine di Indonesia. Tentunya sebagai on behalf partner ManageEngine di Indonesia, Prodata memiliki full access terhadap seluruh resource, support, konsultasi, training, bahkan sampai ke level sertifikasi. Oleh karena itu, kami juga berkewajiban untuk memberikan strong pre-sales dan post-sales yang kuat untuk mendukung ManageEngine di Indonesia. Ini beberapa customer yang sudah menggunakan ManageEngine hingga saat ini. Menurut data yang kami peroleh itu ada sekitar 400 hingga 500 company di seluruh Indonesia dari multi-sektor yang sudah menggunakan ManageEngine hingga saat ini. Kemudian, untuk mendukung proses engagement ManageEngine di Indonesia, tentunya Prodata menyediakan implementation dan after sales support. Ya, jadi hingga ke level single point of contact kami sediakan. Kita juga melakukan proactive technical review hingga preventive plan dan juga maintenance terhadap seluruh pengguna ManageEngine di Indonesia. Bahkan Prodata sanggup menyediakan hingga ke level managed service untuk customer-customer yang merasakan membutuhkan managed service dari Prodata, hingga layanan 24/7 untuk memastikan ManageEngine bisa digunakan secara optimal oleh customer-customer kami. Kemudian selain small and medium business, kami juga menyediakan service untuk enterprise market tentunya. Di mana untuk mengeksekusi services tersebut, kami senantiasa memperbaiki proses implementasi kami, dimulai dari assessment, design, deployment, hingga knowledge transfer kepada seluruh customer-customer yang menggunakan ManageEngine. Kami juga menyediakan tenaga-tenaga ahli yang sudah berpengalaman di dalam bidang ManageEngine untuk membantu mensukseskan proses implementasi ManageEngine di customer-customer kami. Baik, saya akan coba berikan secara garis besar mengenai beberapa solusi ManageEngine yang sudah sering digunakan atau dimanfaatkan oleh seluruh customer-customer kami di Indonesia. Yang pertama adalah IT Operation Management. Ini merupakan bagian dari yang akan kita diskusikan pada hari ini, di mana dalam IT Operation Management ini, ManageEngine memiliki beberapa produk yang berfungsi untuk memonitoring seluruh perangkat infrastruktur IT Bapak Ibu sekalian. Dimulai dari OpManager untuk network and server performance monitoring, kemudian kita juga bisa memonitoring traffic dengan network analyzer, bahkan sampai ke level aplikasi dengan application manager, bahkan kita bisa mengaudit konfigurasi network setting dan konfigurasi network kita dengan network configuration manager hingga kita audit ya. Kemudian kita juga memiliki solusi cloud untuk kebutuhan monitoring tersebut. Kami namakan itu site 24/7 seperti itu. Jadi ini ada beberapa solusi yang berhubungan dengan monitoring dan health performance infrastruktur IT Bapak Ibu sekalian, yang disediakan oleh ManageEngine. Nah, untuk ITOM sendiri, kami 100% web based, jadi kita tidak perlu install apapun di perangkat Bapak Ibu sekalian. Kemudian multi vendor monitoring support, as long as dia punya SNMP, CLI atau MI, itu kita bisa monitoring secara real time. Kemudian secara produk, semua solusi ManageEngine itu sudah memiliki secara default database PostgreSQL gitu. Namun jika Bapak Ibu menggunakan atau prefer dengan database lain, kami juga menyediakan MS SQL sebagai database back-end-nya. Namun untuk kebutuhan itu untuk MS SQL database-nya customer yang harus menyediakannya sendiri. Kemudian yang kedua yang akan kita bahas juga pada hari ini adalah IT Service Management. Di ManageEngine nama solusi kami itu adalah ServiceDesk Plus. Nah, di mana kita bisa memanage sistem ticketing helpdesk kita dengan support asset management, dan di Enterprise Edition kita memiliki ITSM atau ITIL versi terbaru. Nah, untuk eksternal, biasanya ManageEngine akan offering support center plus, di mana ini biasanya solusi ini digunakan untuk customer service. Nah, salah satu solusi lain yang juga berhubungan dengan IT Service Management adalah Asset Explorer atau Asset Management dan Inventory. Ini kurang lebih arsitektur dari Service Desk Plus secara garis besar, di mana kita mengintegrasikan IT Helpdesk Solution dengan Asset Management dan dilengkapi di Enterprise Edition itu dengan ITIL modul atau ya ITSM modul, ITIL versi yang terlatest atau versi keempat. Kami juga punya solusi yang berhubungan dengan desktop dan mobile atau IT desktop dan mobile device management. Untuk manajemen desktop kita menggunakan desktop sentral, di mana kita bisa memanage seluruh perangkat desktop sampai ke level mobile, baik itu patch manajemennya ataupun application push-nya ataupun security-nya ataupun konfigurasinya dan policy-nya, bahkan sampai ke level remote-nya dengan desktop sentral ini. Ini merupakan solusi yang paling sering dibutuhkan akhir-akhir ini dengan kondisi pandemik yang kebanyakan pekerjaan itu dilakukan dari rumah. Kita juga memiliki solusi khusus untuk MDM atau Mobile Device Management, bahkan sampai ke level Remote Access Plus-nya. Seperti itu. Kemudian kita juga memiliki solusi yang berhubungan dengan Active Directory Management, gitu ya. Jadi kalau Bapak Ibu memiliki Active Directory, kita tahu native Active Directory itu setting dan konfigurasinya tidak terlalu mudah. Kami memiliki solusi yang dapat memudahkan Bapak Ibu sekalian untuk memanage Active Directory dengan AD Manager Plus. Jadi dengan AD Manager Plus ini kita diberikan kemudahan melalui GUI yang mudah itu untuk memanage Active Directory Bapak Ibu sekalian. Bahkan bukan hanya sampai manage dan reporting, kita juga bisa mengaudit seluruh Active Directory kita, bahkan sampai ke level file server, member server, workstation. Sehingga kita bisa mengetahui apa, siapa, kapan, dan bagaimana aktivitas yang terjadi di dalam infrastruktur Active Directory kita. Kita juga memiliki solusi untuk reset password dengan ada Service Plus, dan juga untuk mailbox reportingnya kita memiliki solusi Exchange Reporter Plus. Dan terakhir itu adalah IT Security Management. Jadi ManageEngine juga memiliki solusi-solusi yang berhubungan dengan IT Security, terutama log ya. Di ManageEngine kita kenal dengan Log 360, di mana dalam Log 360 ini kita combine atau kita integrasikan solusi CM dengan solusi audit dari Active Directory kita. Namun kita juga punya solusi-solusi terpisah untuk CM only gitu, misalnya Event Log Analyzer, ataupun solusi firewall analyzer untuk memonitoring atau memanage firewall Bapak Ibu sekalian. Jika biasanya kan di setiap company itu firewall itu bisa lebih dari satu. Nah, bagaimana kita bisa memanage firewall yang multi brand tersebut dalam satu single console? Kita bisa menggunakan firewall analyzer. Kemudian yang terakhir adalah solusi Analytics Plus, di mana solusi ini merupakan solusi BI dari ManageEngine yang bisa mengkonvert seluruh report Bapak Ibu sekalian, baik dari sisi aplikasi hingga ke level data yang ada di Excel, yang bisa kita tampilkan dalam bentuk dashboard dan report yang lebih baik lagi sebagai bahan analisa kita dan capacity planning kita ke depannya. Baik, sedemikian hal-hal yang bisa saya sampaikan mengenai beberapa solusi dari ManageEngine. Jika ada Bapak dan Ibu ada pertanyaan yang lebih lanjut mengenai poin produk dari setiap yang baru saja saya sampaikan tadi, bisa menghubungi kami di sales@prodata.co.id. Terima kasih atas waktu yang diberikan kepada saya. Untuk selanjutnya, kita akan memulai sesi webinar kita hari ini yang akan di-lead oleh prinsipal kami dari ManageEngine, Mr. Srikan. Hai Srikan. Halo.
Hi, Ronnie.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm finished my presentation. It's your turn. Go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you so much. A very pleasant afternoon to everyone here gathered for the ManageEngine's interesting webinar on the topic today called ITOM versus SDP integration. I welcome you all on behalf of ManageEngine first, and before we get into the actual presentation, I would like to do a quick confirmation that whether you're able to see my screen as well as able to hear my voice. Once you could give me some confirmation through the chat panel, or you can raise your hand, and we should be able to proceed after receiving some of the confirmation from your side. Thank you so much. I think there are certain confirmations coming through, so I hope it's the same with everyone else. With that said, we should be able to proceed with the presentation today. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Shrikant. I'm a product consultant from ManageEngine, and I have been with these products for almost 5 years. I should be able to give you a quick walkthrough of all those topics that we are planning to discuss today. With that, we'll be getting into the agenda straight away. Today's agenda is as follows. Initially, I believe you are all familiar with ManageEngine and its products, but anyways, since today's topic is more focused on the ITOM and its integration with ServiceDesk Plus, so I'll be giving you a quick introduction on the ITOM products, the suite of products that we have, and then with the discussion on those products, we will be getting into the actual heart of the topic, which is going to be the integration with ServiceDesk Plus. After we discuss about what kind of benefits or facilities you may be able to avail when you proceed with integrating ITOM products, we will have a quick overview on what are the new features in ITOM products that may be beneficial for you in future. And also, we will also have a quick glimpse of the future plans that we have in terms of this integration happening today. You may have, we will be showing you the ITOM and SDP integration, but in down the line in near future, what are the extra features that you may expect from us that we will be disclosing? And in the end, we have a quick question and answer sessions where you may able to raise any questions or queries that you have regarding this presentation, or if you have in general any questions related to the ITOM product or ServiceDesk Plus, you should be able to raise since we have set of panelists sitting along with us and they should be able to answer. And there is no time constraint. You can also raise your questions whenever you have in mind and our panelists should be able to answer them. So after we discuss the agenda, we will be getting into the first topic for the day, that is ManageEngine's ITOM solutions. Like you all know, we ManageEngine experts provide different set of solutions that facilitates different requirements of IT admins. We have products that does the ticketing, which is for service desk plus, and then we have the ITOM, which precisely designed to focus on the monitoring requirement of an IT admin. You may be an IT administrator who is looking for a tool that may monitor the performance of an interface or a device, or you may want to know what are the syslogs coming through your firewalls, just in case if you would like to know where or which device is connected on the switch port or the IP address currently being utilized or not. You may need to have a monitoring infrastructure that would allow you to reduce the impact of any IT failures. So IT operations management, or in short, you can say ITOM, answers to that point. We have a portfolio of different range of products doing different level of monitoring. And the best part here is that you can have all these products that you see separately as a standalone product, or you can have them integrated on top of each other, what we call them here as OpManager Plus. In general, it's ITOM suite. For the network performance monitoring, we have the OpManager product, which does the job of performance monitoring on any networking devices. Then we have the bandwidth and traffic analysis, which is done by our NetFlow traffic monitoring. Network changes done by these on switches or routers by any specific user can be tracked using the network configuration manager. We have syslog monitoring for the firewall devices that can be availed under the firewall analyzer product. Also, we have extended application monitoring on your servers and desktops as well as workstations, which comes under the applications manager. Last but not the least is our IP address manager and switch port mapper, which also comes with a rogue device detection to protect your network from any intrusions. So these are the set of products that we have under the IT operations management. And now the topic gets little interesting because we will now discuss how these two products, that is the ITOM suite solutions, or in general, I'll just take it forward with the term OpManager Plus, which covers all the products from ITOM, and how this integrates with Service Desk Plus, and what kind of benefits you may be able to expect when these two products integrate in general. With that statement concluding, let's get into the heart of the topic today. Service Desk Plus, like you all know, it's an ITSM solution that allows you to do service management and attend your customers within the premise of your organization. Say, for example, you are an IT admin and you may want to you may want to keep a track of the requests coming from different users on your organization. So that's what the Service Desk Plus idea is all about. So how or what kind of requirement will a user have when it comes to ITOM products? Because monitoring and providing service are two different platforms. And what brings them together? That's what the idea here is. We are talking about in specific because today we have a lot of audience. Some of them may be using Service Desk Plus alone. Some of them may already be using the ITOM products, that is the App Manager or any of the product that comes with the ITOM in separate. Or some of you may be already using these products together and may not know about the integration yet. So this webinar, we will be proceeding with how these two products integrate and what are the benefits you will be getting through these products integration. Before I get any further with the integration, let's imagine a scenario how necessary it becomes for these two products to integrate. Imagine you are a service IT admin, you use ITSM software to manage the tickets, and it happens to appear that your devices or any problem related to the devices on your infrastructure should be immediately reported and answered. For that, you may need to receive them as a ticket so that you should be able to proceed with the management of those problems, as well as you should be able to retrieve information of all the assets that you have on your infrastructure. That's where the Op Manager as and the Service Desk Plus integration comes into the boom. You should be able to find all those expectations, like you can get alerts that will be converted into the tickets, or you may want to receive a synchronization report of all those assets that you have or you currently monitor on Op Manager synced with the Service Desk Plus CMDB, and you want to know a complete unified reporting place for all the assets you have. That's what this all integration is about. That's where you being an IT admin and your responsibilities, it's all get reduced because everything that happens to show here will happen automatically. So these are the quite few benefits that I have listed here, which you may can follow. First thing is the automatic ticket generation on any alarms that happen to raise on the Op Manager side, which we will talk later. And then assigning, because someone sending an email ticket lying in an unassigned of your Service Desk Plus tool could be a problem because that eventually delays the process of providing a resolution. What if I tell you that integration with our our products should allow you to assign the tickets automatically to the respective owners so that there won't be any delay in you doing some manual work and assigning those tickets? We will have a look at them too. And last but not the least is the asset synchronization. So any device you manage in OpManager, you may not want to import them individually into the Service Desk Plus tool. So in that case, we have come up with an automatic synchronization. So anything that you add in OpManager, you should be able to show that in the asset page of the Service Desk Plus. Similarly, if you happen to delete something from the OpManager, you may want that to also be deleted from the Service Desk Plus. That is also possible. So let's talk about the integration first. I had been talking about what kind of benefits it happens, but you should be knowing, or you may be wondering, whether this takes a lot of effort. OpManager integrates with Service Desk Plus in a jiffy. You don't have to worry about, because this integration is a very easy process to take. All you need to do is to generate an API key from, that is the technician key from the Service Desk Plus, and use the IP address and the port number on which the IP your Service Desk Plus is running. That's all is required for the integration. So let's have a quick look at the integration itself. So this would be your OpManager. In order to access the integration page, all you need to do is get into the settings. So in order to integrate or initiate the integration, you need to get into the settings first. After you get into the settings, you will have the general settings, and then you can get into the third-party integration. That's where you should be able to find our Service Desk Plus, where you can just simply click on the configure. You can see the Service Desk Plus is currently installed on my same machine, so I'm using the name as localhost, and the port number is 9090, which has been configured here. And also it's currently using HTTP, so the HTTP is also mentioned. In case if you use an alternative, you may be able to shift to the HTTPS if you need. Now coming to the technician key. If you're not sure where to generate that, we do give you a help icon where you can find, or you can just simply come to the Service Desk Plus, click on your user profile name, and use the generate API option. You may able to generate an API key with a certain expiry date, or you can just use an API which never expires. Just a quick tip for you, it is recommended to use the technician key from an admin user who has access to all the infrastructure groups and the technicians, so that you may not have to worry about skipping any specific categories or infrastructure groups when you integrate with the op manager, because using that technician key which you will be providing, we will be syncing all those configuration from Service Desk Plus with the op manager. So we should be having enough privileges to read all your groups, items, privileges, categories, etc. Once you provide the technician key, you should be able to save that and use sync now option that will allow you to do first level of synchronization between op manager and the Service Desk Plus. Later on, everything is automatic, but only for the first time, you can just use the sync now option. We will talk about this specific configuration later down the line, but for now, let's get back to the slides. So this topic was all about how do we initiate the integration. Now we have the STB successfully integrated with the OpManager Plus. We will get into how to create the ticket, because that is the primary task. We discussed about OpManager can create automatically the tickets. Second was assigning it to the technicians automatically. Third is the asset sync. So first we will discuss about how tickets are created. In order to create a ticket, we need to get into the notification. That's where you see a log a ticket option. And under the log a ticket option, you should be able to find the synchronized information that we able to fetch from your Service Desk Plus that will allow you to predefine the category, item, group, as well as the priority technicians detail. So that's the reason I was requesting you to use an admin level technician key instead of a regular user. So what are the benefits of having such tight integration? When you are able to predefine certain things in the op manager, the efforts that you do later on the service desk plus side reduces. You know, when this specific problem happens on a device, the owner of the device, say for example, a switch on the second floor, the IT admin on the second floor should be assigned with that task instead of just creating a ticket that falls under the unassigned bin where all those floors admin have to walk in and check which device is it, where it is lying, and which technician should be assigning with. So that reduces the time of impact analysis and resolutions will be fast forwarded. We will have a quick look at these settings once we get to the OpManager's UI. So let's get there. Once the integration is completed, you may able to get into the settings, notification profiles. Notification profiles allows you to add or create a profile. That's where you can see the logger ticket. The logger ticket should be able to show up here, which gives you different options. And Service Desk Plus is our choice. You may currently it is synchronized, so you should be able to see the list of information that we have. For now, we'll just go ahead with choosing the categories. You can choose which group it has to go with, and the technicians. Say for example, I'm going to choose the Srikant. Once I go there, I should be able to select what conditions on which I should be created a ticket with. So not every alert from OpManager should be created. Instead, on selective conditions, you want the ticket to be created. So you do have that flexibility. Along with that, you can select the devices. Not all devices should be assigned with this specific notification profile. Instead, you can choose which specific device has to go with it. So in my case, I'll just go use my specific server. And once it's done, I can choose whether this profile has to be applied all the days, 24/7, or in case if it's just business hours, excluding the weekends, you can have that flexibility of alerting. In my case, I'll just simply go with 24/7 and I will proceed with saving this profile called SDP testing. So if I go to the device now under the op manager, you should be able to see that we have SDP profiles associated. So currently I have configured a test profile that should allow us to generate a ticket. So let's see if the ticket gets created with the pre-configured elements that we chose. Let me violate a quick monitor's value. Let's take this specific disk utilization. I'll reduce the values to a little bit lesser so that we can generate an alarm. And I will do a quick poll to ensure that alarm has been raised. You can see there is a disk utilization problem happening with trouble value. Now we will go to our Service Desk Plus and see whether the request was raised. Sorry, I think I chose a wrong monitor. Just give me one moment. Should be able to see the ticket anytime. So you can see we have the ticket coming in. It's from the specific partition details. And I have selected, it was previously configured that it should get assigned to the technician Srikant. And also the ticket status and all those details are predefined here. So the amount of work that you will be deploying to assign these tickets are using a workflow here on the Service Desk Plus side, it reduces drastically. Likewise, the synchronization also works on the other way. Say, for example, I'm trying to add a new user to the Service Desk Plus, whether that will sync up with the Op Manager. Absolutely. So if I have to add a specific user called Shri, and I will just simply assign that to the network and hardware problems, and I will save this. And if I go back to the OpManager and try to create a notification profile now under the log a ticket option, I will just do a quick refresh here. If I choose hardware, I should be able to see that. So this is how you can create whatever the categories you create, groups or subcategories, you should be able to see that information synced up with the OpManager. So this is how OpManager uses ServiceDesk Plus for alerting and create ticket creation. And once the tickets are created, what exactly else we can do? The third thing that we discussed about is the asset synchronization, because the first two things we have discussed, how OpManager creates a ticket and how it can automatically assign the tickets to direct technicians. The third thing that we have to discuss is the asset synchronization here. Any device that you have in OpManager, you may opt, it's not mandatory, it's just optional. If you want, you can do the synchronization. The benefits, reduced time of manual efforts that you will be deploying to create the same asset in the Service Desk Plus. Instead, you can just let OpManager do that, because we already know what are the devices that currently being monitored. And if you want to update any settings, because by default we have the MAC address, DNS name, all those information, so you don't have to do a groundwork again on the Service Desk Plus side. Secondly, it is done automatically. You don't have to push any specific configuration from the OpManager to the Service Desk Plus to read the newly discovered devices. Likewise, if you happen to add a test device in infrastructure, or say example, you have an employee joining, you added his device, that gets added into the asset list for the Service Desk Plus. Likewise, if that employee leaves, you happen to delete that device from the OpManager side because it's no longer being monitored. In that case, we will also have the option where when a device is getting deleted from OpManager, it will also be deleted from the Service Desk Plus side. Let's have a quick look at our asset synchronization. Let's get into the Service Desk Plus. On the top, you will find the assets. Currently, I have just synchronized one of my server. Apart from that, I haven't brought in. So once that synchronization happens, you should be able to see the device name, what type of model, operating system, IP address, all those information are available. If you want to dive in deeper, you should be also able to see that we have the MAC address in place, how much memory, disk space, all those details are automatically fetched. Or in case if you want to add any specific relationship or any specific details added for these columns, you can edit and do that and update it. But by default, it's all happening in an automated way. You should be able to fetch in whatever we have, the list of devices from OpManager to your Service Desk Plus. And it's just not only the Service Desk Plus, OpManager also integrates with the versions of Service Desk Plus, because Service Desk Plus has different variations like the Professional Edition, the Enterprise, the MSP, or if you even have a cloud version, OpManager is compatible with all of them for the tight integration, and all those functionalities and features work in the same way. There is no compromise on any feature that you may miss from one version to other. You will find all those features, and the configuration can also be achieved from the same place. This applies to the Service Desk Plus, which is available on the cloud, which I will show you now. So in order to initiate the integration, you'll have to go to the same page that is under the settings, third-party integration. We have Service Desk Plus, Service Desk Plus Cloud. If you want to do the Service Desk Plus or the MSP, because both of them are on-prem, you can use this specific column. And again, the integration is possible using the technician key, and you'll have to get the admin technician key to avoid any permission issues. Likewise, if you want to do the integration with the Service Desk Plus on cloud, then you may need to have a grant token, and that grant token can be availed by clicking on this link, which is also available. It's just a couple of clicks and you should be able to get the grant token, and you can use that token here to integrate OpManager with the cloud version of Service Desk Plus. Up. After that, all those configuration, including the notification profile for ticket creation, it's the same. It's the log a ticket option, and you'll have to switch between different versions for creating ticket. Like for the Service Desk Plus and its MSP edition, you will be using this. And for the SDP Cloud, it's available here. So those are the key topics that we had to cover when it comes to the integration. And now we will be talking about what are the new features, because there are various features coming and we are deploying all of them in OpManager, which are currently available for the users. Since like if you even compare an OpManager version from 6 months back, we would have deployed a lot of feature, but there's one cool, interesting feature that I would like to introduce you to. That is the automatic, or you can say adaptive thresholding. We recently came up with this adaptive thresholds where you happen to avoid manual configuration of thresholds for each devices. OpManager adapts based on the usage, and you should be able to get alert, because there can be a scenario where antivirus scan or some patching happening on a server could cause resource consumption. That includes CPU memory, which is absolutely normal. And in order to avoid that, you may go with these adaptive thresholds, because setting up, like you may have configured a threshold on all the servers like 60%, but not all the servers remain on the same plane. When a patching or an antivirus can happen, some happen to go to 80%, and because of that, you may need to work on manual setup of the thresholds for these devices that alert me when it only goes to 80, not 60, and then you may need to revert back. So in order to avoid that, we have these adaptive thresholds that will allow you to automatically adapt the threshold configuration and will alert only if it's necessary. And you should be able to access that within OpManager's UI. It should be able to available here, but unfortunately I'm actually running an older version of OpManager, so I may not be able to show you here, but certainly it's available in the latest build, and if you're running on an older version, you should be able to upgrade it and avail the feature. Next, we will talk about what are the future plans for the ITOM integration with the OpManager and Service Desk Plus. So when you integrate ITOM products or any product, it's just not the OpManager. If you integrate any product with the Service Desk Plus, what are our future plans? Because currently you may able to log a ticket, that is fine, that which is serves the basic purpose. Then you have the asset synchronization, that is also one of the basic necessity. But what you can expect from us in the near future? So these are the features, because when you synchronize an asset, the first thing that we will be looking at the dependencies. When you sync an asset from OpManager to the Service Desk Plus, it just gets added as a desktop workstation. No one knows which device is related to where or who could be the impacted personalities under that specific device. So I have a switch that goes down. I have thousands of servers under that, or there are certain applications under that specific switch or within the servers, which could be impacted. So how do we build the relationship? By default, OpManager has the capability of creating the dependencies at the time of layer 2 discovery. So we should be able to share that information with the Service Desk Plus, and automatically build a relationship between the parent and the child device. That is one thing. Secondly, the config backup or any or a scheduler that you would have configured. So any changes that happen on the NCM, that will be pushed to the Service Desk Plus likewise. And the third one is the change management. Usually under the change management, let me show you how currently that works in the NCM product. So currently the NCM change requests happen to appear only on the UI of the OpManager, where request will be raised by a technician and the actual admin has to come and approve the request for any config push or config change that needs to be applied on a device. Let me show you that. So this specific feature which you do on the OpManager can be done from the ServiceDesk Plus, that is requests and changes. So you should be able to raise a request and you should be able to raise a request for changes done by the specific user. And from here, if you do the approval process, it should get auto approved in the NCM side. So this is how the advanced synchronization will proceed further towards in the near future. That's it. We are proceeding towards the closure of our webinar. Just to give you an heads up that currently our ITOM product is currently being trusted by almost 42,000 customers, or you may be able to come across like 1 million IT admins currently use our product at the moment to monitor their network and safeguard them. And also the ITOM products are very well certified and recognized by different vendors. We do fall under the magic quadrant of the Gartner. And there are various customers, top Fortune 100 companies that currently trust OpManager as a network monitoring tool and its add-ons to completely safeguard and capture the performance and health of the devices in their infrastructure. And we do have the ebooks on different topics. You may able to avail these ebooks on the link mentioned on my screen. We will be sharing you these specific slides along with these links over the email once we are done with the webinar. So in case if you are interested in a product demo from the ManageEngine regarding ITOM or Service Desk Plus, you should be able to reach us over the email address here. Or if you have any questions or technical assistance that needs to be raised, you may able to reach our trusted partner, ProData, and they will be able to help you out with any technical configuration or product demonstrations, or you can also reach us. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope today's session was very much informative and I was able to cover all the product knowledge that I had in terms of OpManager and Service Desk Plus integration with you. It was pleasure meeting you all. Until next time, I wish you a great day ahead. Thank you.